Generation 1 Pokemon have a tendency to either age like milk or fine wine. It's very hard to find an in-between Pokemon, but Weezing just might be that Pokemon. It's aged like milk until it suddenly became a very nice cheese, a very stinky cheese, that smells so badly that it breaks the game in half and forces players to adapt around it. Yes, Weezing lasted 7 generations as a mid-tier physically bulky special attacker, despite having a higher attack stat. Levitate certainly carried it quite a bit since it left it with just one weakness in Psychic, but it was a new ability in Generation 8 which caused Weezing to suddenly morph into the game-warping Pokemon it is today. In Generation 8, Weezing not only gained a new regional form in Galarian Weezing, which became part Fairy type, but both forms got access to the new ability of Neutralizing Gas. This ability simply turns off every other ability in the game, except for... This ability caused Weezing to find a niche in formats as a support for Regigigas, who now could not only act free of its ability of Slow Start, but also didn't need to worry about other abilities like Intimidate lowering its massive attack stat. It even pairs well with both Calyrex forms since its ability isn't affected by Neutralizing Gas. Why not? Well, we call that DLC magic. The fact that other Pokemon lack their abilities causes the game to turn upside down since most Pokemon's identities are tied to their abilities. Incineroar can't Intimidate, Rillaboom can't spam Priority Grassy Glide, and Urshifu can't even hit through Protect. Yes, Weezing has broken the game of Pokemon in half, and today we're going to explore how it does it in the current format and we'll try it out on the ladder. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video at any point in time, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. As a matter of fact, you should really just subscribe right now because I have a playlist full of content just like this that you can watch once this video ends. And if you think you're subscribed, do me a favor and double check because a lot of my viewers actually aren't. With that, let's get into the video. But not before I plug my YouTube channel memberships. If you click the join button, not only do you get access to bonus videos every week and access to my podcast with Jody Azzarelli, but you also can join my members only Discord where we team build and discuss Pokemon broadly. You also get a badge by your name in the comments and in my live streams, and you get to see your name at the end of these videos. Lots of cool perks there, so consider supporting me with the channel membership. Now back to the video. Weezing and Galarian Weezing are identical as far as their stat spreads, but where they differ is in their movesets and typing. Something you might notice with Weezing is that most of the time you find it running a special attacking moveset, despite its attack stat being slightly higher. This is because its only good physical attacks are Gunk Shot and Explosion. One of which is super inaccurate and the other is just like maybe you don't want to click it. I don't know, maybe don't click the button that KOs your own Weezing 100% of the time and the opponent's like 10% of the time. However, its special moveset is much deeper with access to Sludge Bomb, Flamethrower, Dark Pulse, Heat Wave, Thunderbolt. It's just better, you have more options and they're all pretty accurate. Galarian Weezing, on the other hand, while it usually prefers its special moveset, does technically have the option to go physical as it now has access to Play Rough. But it's typically going to click moves like Sludge Bomb, Flamethrower, and its signature move of Strange Steam, which is a new fairy move with a chance to confuse the target and has a solid 90 base power. More often than not though, Weezing is not the star of the team it's on. Its job is simply to turn off other Pokemon's abilities and enable its partners. You might believe that Weezing turning off all abilities is a net negative for both the user and the opponent, but it all comes down to preparation. The opponent comes into the match expecting to get to use all of their Pokemon's abilities, whether it's Drought on Groudon, Intimidate on Incineroar, or even Commander on Tatsugiri. But with the Weezing player, they have no such plan. Weezing players will deck out their teams with Pokemon who are either not reliant on their abilities or actively want their abilities to be deactivated. Whichever Pokemon do need their abilities to function can simply use them when Weezing is switched out, or in the case of Pokemon like Incineroar, equip the Ability Shield as a held item. This item simply prevents the user from having their ability changed or deactivated. This causes interactions which would normally not be able to occur, like Incineroar coming in and intimidating an opposing Kingambit without activating Defiant, or Fake Out actually flinching an Inner Focus Pokemon. It's for this reason that playing against a Weezing team can kind of feel like a boss battle. You need to change the way you approach the game entirely until Weezing is KO'd, and the Weezing player will do everything in their power to make sure that this never happens. In the current format of Regulation G, Weezing is often paired with Calyrex Shadow Rider and Dondozo to prevent the opposing Pokemon from getting to use Prankster Tailwind and other useful abilities. It will tend to set up Toxic Spikes as partner Calyrex chunks the opponents for major damage and removes answers for Dondozo in the back, at which point Dondozo is able to double its stats with Commander Tatsugiri and stall out the opposing Pokemon until they drop to the poison damage. It's sort of a mixture of hyper offense and stall that Weezing enables in a format riddled with legendary Pokemon, and that's exactly what we're going to be using today on the ladder. Boo, spooky face cam. A lot of you guys don't know what I look like for some reason, even though I stream every day. So I figured it'd be cool to include a face cam. We are using this team that I threw together. It's based off of a few teams. One team that got 5th, I believe, at Vancouver, and I also took a spread from 45 Mice's Worlds team for the Weezing. But we're just going to be showcasing what Weezing is capable of in Regulation G. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Let me know what you guys think about the face cam. I feel like, I don't know, I'm not used to recording a video with a face cam and having it go on the main channel, but we'll see. Yeah. No. So we're still in Great Ball, even though it's like almost over a week into April. It's because I don't really play on this account too much. But this is actually a pretty good game to showcase why Weezing is so powerful. Weezing is going to be able to turn off Drought, Photosynthesis if they have like a booster energy. It's going to be able to turn off a lot. And the team doesn't have a ton of answers to Calyrex. I wish I wasn't Terra Ghost on this set now, because it would be so much better if I just wasn't, to be honest. But Life Orb Regigigas might also be super good here. That being said, I think that like getting the Toxic Spikes off is definitely like for the best. I could, if they don't lead off with the Regigigas, I'm in a good spot. Or Regigigas. If they don't lead off with the Brute Bonnet, I'm in a good spot. I could also just lead off with Regigigas here and try to deal as much damage as possible. And that doesn't seem like a bad plan. I think I'm going to opt for Regigigas, though, because Crush Grip is just stupid damage. And I think... Is this unironically a game where we leave the Restricted at home? I don't think so. I think we're going to go with the Restricted. Because I can just Toxic Stall them in the endgame. Or maybe that isn't the case. Maybe I actually leave Tatsugiri and Dondozo at home. Yeah, I think I do that. And the reason is just because I am able to win without them, and also the Cresselia could give me a couple of issues. So we're going to go with this and you, and we're going to lock that in. Yeah, I think that, like, if I were to lead off with, the Calyrex, things could get a little iffy. I'm not sure if I even want to go for, like, Toxic Stall or Poison Gas. Just because Cresselia can heal that all off, and then Dondozo has to deal with that. But if we can get rid of the Restricted early, we're in a really good spot. Also, I'll leave the pace for this team in the description down below. Yeah, they did lead off with Brute Bonnet, which was my concern. We can just Crush Grip it, get rid of it immediately. I might even Terra Stellar. And I do think that... Ooh, I think I'm going to Toxic Spikes right away. And I think I'm just going to Terra Stellar Crush Grip, because I don't want to have to deal with that guy. Luckily, Regigigas should be faster than this thing, since I am Jolly max speed. And that means that I don't have to deal with Breaking Swipe lowering the damage of the first hit, unless they want to just go for Breaking Swipe right away and Protect. But I don't think they would Protect here. I think they really want to Spore. Alright, look at this damage. This damage is stupid. Oh my god, it lived? I wish I Poison Gassed. Did they just howl? Okay, I might be getting put to sleep here, but depending on what gets put to sleep. I wish I Poison Gas now. I could have just gotten that KO. Maybe they sleep the Weezing. Maybe I get lucky. No, they do Spore this thing. I'm surprised it lived that. What's Crush Grip's max power? Maybe I should have just gone with Giga Impact. Still not the worst, though. I can Poison Gas here. And no reason not just attempt a high horsepower. It's probably not going to go off. But they shouldn't be able to pick up a KO on anything in this turn. Like, even if the Weezing goes to sleep, I don't think it's the end of the world. And they can't one-shot it. It's too fat. I'm surprised they went for Howl. I'm surprised they lived. That's one of the strongest moves in the game. Rage Powder? Okay, glad I Poison Gassed. Regigigas is asleep. Flare Blitz shouldn't KO me even at +1, just because I'm Regigigas. Because I'm Reginald. Maybe I should move the face cam. It might be blocking the health bar. I didn't pay attention to it. Yeah, it's blocking the health bar. I don't even know where I would put it. Like, down here? Technically, this is the correct spot. Because it blocks the least. I do need to make sure my Weezing is alive, though, to make sure I don't give them a photosynthesis boost. There's Flutter Mane. Could be a little bit of an issue. Could be a little bit of an issue. Their Focus Sash is going to get broken, though. So even if Weezing goes down, I am able to just click Astral Barrage next turn. So I'm going to Protect. And we're going to attempt... I guess Knockoff isn't the worst play. I don't think I really care about Gouging Fire too much. I'm mostly concerned with Flutter Mane. Alright, let's see. They do Burning Bulwark, so I did target the correct slot, but they might just KO me anyways. Yeah, notice how they just don't get to use any abilities. It's actually kind of crazy that they just lose all access. Not the end of the world, though. My Caloric Shadow Rider is definitely faster than the Flutter Mane, and I should always just be able to click Astral Barrage and Strange Steam, and that'll pick it up. There's also Spell Tag on the Calyrex since the Life Orb is on the Regigigas. Alright. Dang, that's still covering that health bar, bro. And now it's covering the time. I have to find a spot for this webcam. I guess it's technically up here. Top left? Top left. It just feels wrong there, though. Yeah, it's top left. Okay, Strange Steam. Astral Barrage. Send them to Astral World. That might just double KO. Nah, Gouging Fire does live, but we should win in the endgame. Get a Grenade boost. You go for the Flare Blitz, they're going to KO themselves. But I'm going to survive. Because Gouging Fire doesn't have the biggest attack stat. Like, it's not that strong. It hits hard with Flare Blitz, don't get me wrong, but it's not going to one-shot. Not without Sun. It needs the Sun. And their last mon's definitely Groudon. Which is just a sitting duck now. Groudon doesn't have its Sun. It has to take a single target Astral Barrage at +1 with Spell Tag. The game's over. We'll just Strange Steam. Astral Barrage. Oh. I have Energy Ball on here because I didn't have the TM for Shadow Ball. I really wanted single target Shadow Ball as an option in case there's like Wide Guard. But I didn't have the resources and I wanted to get this video out sooner. Nice. We're going to go for 3 games. I try to shoot for an hour with these videos, but to be honest, if I go for an hour, it's not going to get up on time. That was a really good showcase. I'm hoping to get a Dondozo-centric game. I feel like Dondozo would be really cool here. Also, why did my TV just changed inputs? Give me a second. I can't hear it anymore. Okay. I don't know. I just think Weezing's really interesting. I don't particularly like playing this type of team, but I do think it's like really cool how it's basically a hyper offense team that transitions into being Toxic Stall towards the end of the match. I think it's really interesting for that reason. But yeah, Regigigas isn't like super popular on Weezing teams at the moment just because like it's hard to fit it. But I wanted to showcase turning off Regigigas' ability. This is a very good game for Calyrex lead. Calyrex lead plus Weezing. Should be able to do that. Definitely a Dondozo endgame. Definitely a Dondozo endgame. Yeah. No, into this, obviously, like, Calyrex is the fastest thing in the field as long as there's no photosynthesis boost, which Weezing prevents that. And even though they're usually Focus Sash on the Flutter Mane, I should just be able to go for, like, Poison Gas turn 1, break that, and then just attack the next turn. And if I need to, I can Terra Ghost to make sure I pick up on the Flutter Mane. And yeah, this is just an excellent Excellent lead for me. Covert Cloak's like really important here because it makes sure that Weezing doesn't get faked out. And it makes sure that I break the sash. Alright, so we're going to Protect here. I'm going to go ahead and Poison Gas. As long as I connect on Flutter Mane, that's all that really matters. Because Flutter Mane, you know, Focus Sash is really annoying. I don't see them protecting the Flutter Mane here. I think they know that, or at least they believe they're in a really good spot. Since they have two things threatening my Calyrex, but in a second here, it's only going to be one. It'd be really funny if I just ran into like Ability Shield Flutter Mane one day and they just get the Proto Boost. Flutter's gonna Terra Normal. Terra Normal. Didn't see that one coming, but not the end of the world. We do have single target Psychic. It's just gonna make this a little more complicated. Nice, they want to double that really bad. Here's the Poison Gas. And I know I said I was going to do a Calyrex transition into Dondozo type game, but it feels like what we need to do now is probably switch in Tatsugiri where the Calyrex is and get in my Dondozo on the right slot, because then we can just click Earthquake and hopefully get a double KO. Considering what's in the back, maybe not the worst. Not the worst. The Psychic definitely wouldn't do it, and they definitely want to double into the Calyrex right now because they're mostly concerned with it being, they're mostly concerned with that thing being Focus Sash, and they want to make sure they get that KO. So we'll go ahead and switch in Dondozo. Dondozo is a Pokemon, or Tatsugiri at the very least, is a Pokemon that relies on its abilities a lot. So that's why it pairs really well with Weezing, because Tatsugiri is not going to be in the field at the same time as Weezing and Dondozo. It's just physically impossible, so it doesn't mind being on a Weezing team. There's the Intimidate. Weezing's attack fell. That's like my favorite bug in the game, that Weezing gets an attack drop when it leaves the field. And now that they're poisoned, we can just spam Earthquake. Let's see if we got the play right. If we got it right, they should double target the left slot, meaning they missed the Shadow Ball and missed the knockoff. Flare Blitz. They're covering for the Terra. Didn't get it. Also, their Terras are gone, and everything is in range of Earthquake, basically, because of the poison. Alright. Go Gadget. Go Gadget Earthquake. Withdraw the Incineroar. What's going to come out? Probably a Moongus. I don't think I care because I can just still Terra Grass on that. Walking Wake. That isn't even really an answer either, if I'm being honest. It might get two-shot. They're going to go for the Protect here. I don't really care. And I just keep spamming my Earthquakes. Of course, Walking Wake isn't poisoned, but it's not going to appreciate this. And as long as I get rid of the Flutter Mane, we're just in a really good spot. I can also order up right slot, assuming they want to go into Incineroar for the left, get that KO. But I think I'm just better off spamming Earthquake, truth be told. Because I don't want to take like a Draco Meteor and a Moonblast this turn, which they might go for. And my main concern is getting rid of like their main way of dealing with Shadow Rider. Incineroar is also poisoned, so it's going to have to take +1 Earthquake if it comes in. I forget, am I oblivious or am I unaware? I'm pretty sure I'm unaware. I'm definitely oblivious, like me as a person, but it's besides the point. Unaware, yeah. Okay. I definitely just showed that on screen. Koridon doesn't eat this super well either. They're going to get a speed boost, probably. I don't think they're special attack boosting. They did get a speed boost. Not the end of the world. Koridon kind of gets walled. They're going to go for Dragon Pulse. It's going to hit pretty hard, but I have a lot of special defense. Go for this Earthquake. Trying to think here. I believe I could order up left slot. I could also just protect here, but if they end up going into Incinerate, that could be really bad. I'm gonna protect. I think just they're gonna keep hammering away at me with Dragon Pulse and like Collision Course or Close Combat. Yeah, and they didn't switch out, so I get the most out of this turn, unless they have like Substitute or something. Dragon Pulse. Close Combat, yeah, probably Life Orb Close Combat. And that's gonna hurt, don't get me wrong. They do have their ability right now, so Orichalcum is active. That means they have like a double Life Orb, but we are at +2 defense. So, Earthquake. Earthquake. Dragon Pulse, they have to crit. They don't. This is gonna hurt, but not too bad, and it's probably gonna send them in range of Earthquake. Since they took that much from the first one. And their Life Orb, yeah. I think you're Earthquake range now. No, not quite, but they are Life Orbs, so they're on a timer. They're thinking about it. They should logically go Flutter Mane here. Flutter Mane is probably the smart decision. They could go Incinerate though, threaten Fake Out, but assuming they don't have any setup moves, I can just protect. That's Flutter Mane. Definitely protect here. They do get the speed boost, but I can turn that off later. I'm gonna protect here, get a little bit more damage. They can go into Incinerate, I don't think it matters too much. Because the goal here is now sending the Flutter Mane in range of Psychic, which I think after 2 rounds of Poison should be the case, but it could be close. Incinerate is also going to be taking some chip damage turn to turn. And Focus Sash Tatsugiri could unironically just win the game. It's on this turn that we go for the double protect, just because, even though it's not guaranteed, it's better for me if I do get this double protect to make sure I don't have to take Fake Out and this attack. We might fail. Even if we do fail, it doesn't really matter. They're going to try the Fake Out. Let's see if that sends me in range. I believe it does, just because we're Dondozo. Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay, cool. Special attack drop. Oh, no, not my special attack. And your Sunlight's gone now. I could go for another protect. But the goat in me is telling me they're gonna pivot out into Koraidon. Because they know I want to protect. I think they might just go into Koraidon here, and catching that with Earthquake could be really big, and I don't think I lose by going for this either. I don't think I ever lose by going for this. Yeah, they pivot out into Koraidon. And catching that with Earthquake's huge. Let's see if the Moonblast picks up. I didn't pay attention to how much it did last time, but I lived with a lot more than I thought I would. Not quite. Good game. Alright, yeah, and their last Mon's Incineroar, it's just over. They got messed up pretty bad there. 4-0, in fact. I'm not even gonna protect on the Fake Out. I just believe in Dondozo. Also be really cool if Weezing actually got a KO. I could Strange Steam it. Might as well Wave Crash. I'll let you have a KO. But I'm going out on my terms. Nah, they forfeit. Okay, cool. That was a pretty good showcase. I really enjoyed that. That was a really good example of like the Dondozo version of this strategy. All right. My back hurts. Okay. Continue battling. God, I'm so good stomping on Great Ball and Ultra Ball players. Wow. What a showcase. I usually stream on my alt. Also, I'm not like super invested in Reg G right now because I really want to play Reg I and I'm not going to any Reg G regionals. I believe the last one is literally happening this weekend in Atlanta. So, yeah. All right, last game. Ooh, okay, all right, all right. This is one of those games where I wish I had Shadow Ball instead of Energy Ball. They're both balls, they work. But it's still pretty good, I would say. It could be kind of bad, could be kind of bad. I think that like Zamazenta is one of the best matchups into this team because not only does it have the capability of walling Calyrex Shadow Rider, but it's also not poisonable, so could be kind of bad. That being said, I think Roaring Moon might be on the bench for this match. Actually, it could still be a Roaring Moon game. Roaring Moon Acrobatics hits decent chunk of these Pokemon for good damage, but they're both weak to Zamazenta between these two. I definitely just lead off how I've been leading off. But everything else feels iffy. Very iffy. Iffy. Yeah, we just go with that. We just do this again. Really glad we got a Regigigas game to begin with, considering what we pulled afterwards. All right. Zama Flutter. Makes sense, makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Have to be a little careful here. Have to be a little careful. Toxic Spikes could be a good play, but I don't think I'm comfortable going for that just yet. Because I think they want a wide guard, and that would block Poison Gas. Poison Gas is technically what I should click, just to make sure it's on a timer. But if I'm anticipating the wide guard, I Strange Steam and I Protect. And I think even if they double, Weezing just eats this because I'm bold with a lot of special defense. Yep, they do wide guard, called that out. I could be the GOAT and just attack again, and just attack this turn anyways. I could just be the GOAT right now. If I get the confusion, I'm totally just attacking. Nope, no confusion. That being said, could still be the play. Could still be the play. Let's go for a Spikes this turn. Dude, I'm totally doing it. I'm totally just doing it to do it. We already got 2 wins. I'm gonna do it because you would not wide guard twice. You would not wide guard twice. You want to attack. You're scared. I got him! Yes! Ooh! Ooh! Critical hit on the Zama too. That's the mind games. That's the mind games you play. The match is over. Okay, maybe not. That hurt. But in my mind, the match is over. There's Urshifu. Could be Choice Scarf, but here's something funny. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I can just protect and strange steam here. What are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it? Oh, you're gonna Terra Water. You're gonna Terra Water, huh? Well, guess what? My name is Weezing, and I turn off your ability. And with your ability turned off, how will you hit through the protect, dork? And a wide guard. Simple as that. Simple as that. Aqua Jet? I hardly know her. Or something. I don't know. Strange Steam, get confused. Oh, that Steam is strange. That Steam is strange. Possibly the strangest Steam I've ever seen in my life. Strange Steam again. We're gonna go into our Dondozo. No need to switch in Tatsugiri here, and the reason is it's gonna crit through it anyways with like Surging Strikes. Also, they're definitely not Choice Scarf because they clicked Aqua Jet there. You know, some people even run Rocky Helmet on their Dondozos on this team just to speed up the process. Heavy Slam. Oh my god, Weezing. You're so good at this game, Weezing. You're so smart and strong. And they get confused. Not that it matters. Get him out of here. Get this clown out of here. Show me the Rillaboom. I'll Terra Grass. It's over. It's over. Yep. It's over. Good game, sir. Good game. He doesn't even have his ability. Technically speaking, because he doesn't have his ability, my play here is Protect, Terra Grass, Earthquake to get the KO on Zama. But I can also do the same thing by just going Tatsugiri, letting him have his ability, and going for the Wave Crash. If you don't know, Grassy Terrain cuts the damage of Earthquake by a lot. Down to a quarter. Alright, take your defense boost. I'm gonna get +2 attack, it won't matter. Even if they fake out, it doesn't matter. I think they would just Woodhammer, though. I'm also unaware, so Body Press just bounces off of me. Fake out the wrong slot. Sorry, buddy. Body Press. Does literally like 5 damage. And this game's over. The match is over. All right. Order up. They forfeit. That was a really good showcase of the different modes this team could run. I'm really happy we even pulled like one of the more negative matchups. Zamazenta is, hypothetically speaking, one of the better things you could, you know, use into this team. But we got him anyways. We got him anyways. So, yeah, face cam, I suppose. That's the team. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Let me know what you guys think about the face cam in this video. Yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.